Hello, I welcome you all in this video tutorial based on syntax directed translation. Short form is SDT. Now, before moving into the actual topic, let us understand what we have learned so far. So, this is about the simple diagram of the parser. So, how parser works? It gets the input from the lexical analyzer in the form of tokens, and it creates the syntax tree, and this syntax tree will be useful to generate the intermediate code. So the topic that was important in the given diagram, it is lexical analyzer. We have seen these type of concepts in the lexical analyzer. Then we moved to the parser topic, and in the parser we saw various different types of parsing methods. The main categorization as top down and bottom up parsing method. But after that, with parser we create the syntax tree. Now how that syntax tree will be meaningful in order to generate the intermediate code. So in order to help in the semantic analysis phase or in order to help in the intermediate code generation phase, we require some of the tools. So two major tools are there. One is called as SDD, stands for syntax directed definition, and second one is called as syntax directed translation. So in the SDD, what is there? The grammar along with semantic rules are there, and in the syntax directed translation SDT we have grammar plus semantic actions. So what semantic rules are? Consider the production given here as E tends to E1 plus T. So we have to apply some semantic rule in the form of attribute of each and every non-terminal symbol. So E1 and T having some attributes, let us say some code attribute is there, and we will be getting addition of that, and we will be achieving value of attribute of E. So in this way we apply some semantic rules over here in the SDD, while in the SDT, that is syntax directed translation, we have a grammar plus we apply some semantic actions to it. So just see in this particular example, if we get this kind of production in a parsing process, so E1 plus T, this particular production gets reduced with some semantic action called as plus. That means whenever plus operation is needed, this type of action will be taken, or E1 plus T will be replaced at that particular point. So this is how syntax directed translation is used, having grammar plus semantic actions. So the idea of SDT says that the parser tool uses context-free grammar which will validate the given input string and produces the output for the next phase of compiler. The next phase of compiler is semantic analysis. So the output generated by parser can be either parsing tree or the syntax tree, but in the semantic analysis along with the syntax analysis phase, we can make use of like syntax analysis into the semantic analysis phase by means of a syntax directed translation. So what this particular SDT is, it is nothing but grammar plus some semantic rules, semantic actions that gives results to the SDT. So SDT refers to a method of compiler implementation in which source language translation is completely driven by the parser. So given input grammar will be translated by the parser. One common way of achieving or implementing the SDT is just translate a given string into some sequence of action by attaching one such action to each rule. That means we can attach one action for one production rule in a given grammar. In this way a simple SDT can be created. So with this, parsing the string of a grammar will produce some sequence of rule applications. That means one by one, when we reduce the sum of the symbols in a given grammar, that actions will be replaced. So SDT will help us to provide a simple way with which we can attach or add some semantic in a given syntax tree. Now this SDT involves information passing either in the bottom up or top down manner. We will see both the examples, that is a given grammar by using bottom up parsing and with a top down parsing in the later session, in which the parse tree will be there, and every node of the parse tree will be having some attributes attached to it. Now the syntax directed translation rules basically define on lexical values of nodes or constants or attributes associated with the non-terminal. So with respect to these, that is some lex values or the input values or some constant defined or some other attributes of the non-terminal, with respect to them the syntax directed translation rules are imposed. One such example of SDT, it is given here. This is the production rules we have. So starting symbol is E. Here f tends to number, so any input number will be using this particular production rule. So now we are simply attaching some attribute. So attribute assigned are E dot value. So E dot value equal to E dot value plus T dot value. So at every production rule we are attaching attribute to the given non-terminal symbol. So with respect to attribute or with respect to value attribute of every non-terminal, we have added some of the semantic rules. So how this SDT is implemented? So the SDT, it is the part of parsing process, and while implementing SDT in a parsing process, we first of all build a parse tree. So for having SDT we must have the parse tree based on the given grammar, and we will perform the action on that parse tree in which left to right traversal is there plus depth first, that is reorder. That means the SDT or the given parse tree will be traversed by means of a pre-order traversal starting from left to right. Okay, in this way we will be traversing the tree. Let us consider example of SDT. Here three production rules are given. E tends to E plus T or T tends to T star F or F, and F tends to integer literature. Any digital value or any lexical value will be provided there. Now in this grammar, what we are going to do, this grammar can be useful when we have any expression consisting addition or multiplication operation. Now in order to carry out semantic analysis, first of all we will apply some SDT rules on this grammar. So the given grammar, now at this point we have to apply some SDT rule. Okay, so these rules can be then checked with respect to parse tree, and we will see whether it is correctly parsed or not. That means it is following semantic rules or not. So let us see. This is the given grammar. Now we have applied some rules on this grammar. So value attribute is taken into the consideration, and each non-terminal is represented by means of its value attribute. Between the parentheses we always specify the semantic rule or semantic action. So the same is explained here. Here in what way we have created these semantic rules. So SDT are augmented rules to the CFG, which will associate it to set of attributes of every node. So E, T, F are the nodes in this grammar. So we will consider any of the attribute of these non-terminal symbols, and we will like associate some rules to them, and set of translation rules to every production rule using attribute, constant or lexical values. So every production rule or every translation rule is applied with some translation rule. First thing is apply rule to the attribute of every non-terminal symbol, and then apply the semantic rule to every production in the given grammar. Now based on that, based on the given grammar we have created its corresponding parse tree. So E tends to E plus T, this is the starting production rule. So E tends to E plus T, then E is reduced to T, so E derives T, then T derives T star F, so T derives T star F. So left to right we are going, then T derives F, so T derives F and T derives F. That's all. This is the parse tree. Now the input string provided is 2 plus 3 into 4. So the 2 will be here, plus will be here, this f will gives rise to 3, and last f will gives rise to 4. So 2 plus 3 multiplied by 4. So input string can be easily passed. Let us see. Now to evaluate the given translation rules, what we will apply? We will apply depth first traversal or pre-order traversal. So just recall the rules of the pre-ordered traversal and apply same over this particular given parse tree. So when we start applying the depth first from left to right, here in this example I am showing a method how it is the output will be achieved with the help of bottom up parsing method. So what we will do, it will be 2 plus 3 into 4, so outcome will be 14. So just start applying the given rules, semantic rules from the bottom. Here the given syntax tree, parse tree is like this. So simply start from this 2, okay, start from this 2 and start applying the given semantic rules over there. So we have started from 2, just go upward, at plus, no need to apply any rule, then again go downward, go to the leaf, that is 3, so apply the semantic rule there. So then next it is multiplication, then go to the next leaf, that is 4, and then 4 come towards the E. Now when you traverse this kind of path, this is nothing but the what we can say partial representation of the dependency graph. So here we are coming at the digit value, that is 2, or lexical value that is 2. Then this value 2 will be shifted to F, that is assigned to F. Then F will shift or add put this value F to its production rule, that is T. So just because T is deriving F, if you see the rule, T is deriving F. So first of all this value is given to F. Now F is giving this value to T. So 2 is given to F, F is giving value to T, and T is ultimately giving that value to E. So this digit value to F, F value to T, and T value to E. So E ultimately gets the 2 value. Next, we are not applying any rule for the plus. We are at this particular node. So see the path. We are going like this way. So this value 3 is now, it is like assigned to F. Now F is derived from T. So just because T derives F basically. So T is derived from F. So value of F is given to T. Now here no other rules are possible because T, it is nothing but at the right hand side of the production. So just move ahead. At star we are not applying any rule. For 4 similar rules are applicable. Value of 4 is assigned to F. Now we have T star F. Okay, so the values are T star F. So T star F, just apply the rule, bottom up parsing. So reduce this T star F. T star F is reduced to T. So T star F is reduced to T. So we have like add this 4 value to F, and after that follow the upward path. So we have reduced T star F to T, and after having 2 plus 3 into 4, that is 12. So this T is carrying result 12 and this E is carrying result 2. So 2 plus 12. E plus T, can we reduce this in a bottom up parsing? Yes, we can reduce. E plus T can be reduced to E. So simply perform the addition, that is 2 plus 12, which is equal to 12, and this value will be assigned to E. So value of E is nothing but E value plus T value. What is E value? It is 2 plus T value, it is 12. So 2 plus 12 value will be 14, and it is given to the E. So in this way the bottom up parsing along with depth first traversal is used, and we have performed, or we have created some SDTs, that is syntax directed translation for the given parse tree. This will provide some additional information for the semantic analysis phase and also in the intermediate code generation phase. Next we will see the example where bottom up as well as top down parsing method will be used, and some semantic actions will be there for the production tool. Now see this example. Here given grammar is having 3 productions rule, that is E tends to E plus T or T, T tends to T star F or F, and F tends to num. But along with this grammar some semantic actions are also given. So you can see what semantic actions are given here. E tends to E plus T, then semantic action is printf plus. When E tends to T, semantic action is do nothing. When E tends to T star F, semantic action is printf star. Where T tends to F, then do nothing, and when F tends to num, the semantic action is printf num dot L value. So first of all, we will see in what way top-down parser or using top-down parser whether the given SGT parse a string or not. So let us say a string given to you is 2 plus 3 multiplied by 4. It is similar to the last example. So very first step is, first of all, design a parse tree. So parse tree, based on the semantic action we have to decide. So let us simply design the tree. So parse tree would be like this. E derives E plus T, then E derives what? So E derives T, this T derives F, and F derives what? F derives num or production or some semantic action. So what we will do, we will apply some number into the semantic action. So I would say this is first, this is second, this is third, this is fourth, and this is fifth. So we'll apply the same semantic actions. So 5 will be num, and semantic action associated is 5. Then the next, this T derives T star F. So T derives T star F, and this T derives what? F, and this F derives again num and semantic action 5. This F also it derives num and semantic action number 5. So in this way we have applied the given productions. So here when we have T tends to F, what is T tends to F? T tends to F, do nothing. So we can have T star F or do nothing, that is fourth. Here also T star F and fourth. That's all. In this way we can apply. Here also E tends to T, so E tends to T is do nothing, so we can have the semantic action associated is 2 anywhere else. So fine. So now we will see how top-down parsing method will parse the given string. The output will be postfix expression. Let us see. Then we will start with the from top to down. So come here. So now num. So now num value here, num value will be equal to 2. Here num value will be equal to 3, and num value that you are going to enter is nothing but 4. So with top-down parsing, I am coming here and at this 5. At 5 I have occurred with semantic action 5. So what is semantic action 5? Semantic action 5 is print the num value 5. So print the num value. What is the num value? Print num value equal to 2. So value printed will be, I am just making a box here. So value printed will be 2. Now just move upward and it will see the semantic action number 4. So what is semantic action number 4? Semantic action number 4 is T tends to F, that is do nothing. So do nothing and move ahead. So next is 2. We have occurred with semantic action 2. So what is semantic action 2? Semantic action is do nothing. So do nothing. So we will go, then we have occurred with plus, that's all. Then again come down, and here you will again coming across with semantic action 5. So what is semantic action 5? Semantic action 5 is printf num value. So what is num value? Num value is 3. So we will be printing num value as 3. Now just move ahead. So 5, then 4. Then what is the semantic action number 4? Semantic action number 4 is do nothing. So don't do anything and just move to the next. Here then we will be coming to the semantic action 5. Again print the num value. So num value is nothing but 4. So just go upward. Now here what we have, T star F. What we have, T star F. So whenever we have T star F, what will be the semantic action? Semantic action is nothing but 3 over here. So T star F is nothing but, for the T star F, what we have, for the T star F we have to printf star. So we will print the star. Okay, I am talking about this T star F. What semantic action we can take T star F? It is nothing but 3. So printf star. So star is printed. Now next we will go to this particular point, but before that we have E plus T. So E plus T, what semantic action we can take? So for E plus T, semantic action will be taken as plus. So print plus over here. So plus will be there, and lastly E. So E plus T, when you have E plus T, replace with the plus, and E plus T is nothing but the E. So in this way top down parsing works, and it generates the output like this: 2, 3, 4 star and plus. If you evaluate this postfix expression, then the outcome will be 14. So this is the example how the top down parser can parse the given input string by means of a STT. Thank you. Now consider the second example, where we will have some SDT and will be given with some input string, and we need to check whether that input string is allowed to parse by that SDT or not. So the given grammar is S tends to XXW, and it has semantic action printf1. Then S tends to Y has printf2 as a semantic action, and W tends to SZ as a semantic action printf3. Input given as 4 times X, Y and ZZ, and the method that we are going to see in this example is bottom-up parsing or simple LR parsing. So the first step is nothing but draw a parse tree. So parse tree would be like this. The inputs, that is starting symbol is S. Now S derives X, W. Now this W derives S, comma Z. Now S derives, so this S will be like deriving XW. So I'm writing here as S deriving X and W, and this W is reduced to now again S and Z, S and Z, and the S finally can be reduced to Y. So S is reduced to Y. Now just see, it will be 4 times X. So X, then Y, Z and Z. So now the input string given that can be parsed with the given parse tree. So now we will apply the SDTs with respect to the parser, that is LR parser, and see whether the given string is parsed or not. So the rule that we are going to follow in the bottom-up parsing is that whenever we have a reduce operation, at the reduce operation only we will be applying the semantic action. So let's see, let us start. So X is not a reduction, second X is also not a reduction. Now here this S is not a reduction, then X is also not a reduction, this X is not also reduction, then we will go down now at Y. Now Y is a reduction. Just see, S tends to Y, it is nothing but printf2.
so it will print the 2. Now just move upward and add this Z. This Z is also not a reduction, so we'll be moving upward. Now add this W. Now this XXW, it is a reduction. You can see XXW is reduced to S, so it is the first reduction. So print 1, then go to Z, then S comma Z. This is also a reduction. So SZ is nothing but the W, and it is printf 3. So it will print 3. It will go upward, and now it is XXW. So XXW is again it is a reduction, reduced to the S, and it will print 1. So in this way, for the given grammar and with the SDT on that grammar, we have seen what inputs, given inputs we can print. Thank you.